Okay, I'm back. Let's make sure we got everything looking alright over here. Quality looks decent. Alright, welcome to the channel, guys. This is Reliable Rudy. Before we go into any technicals, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. You guys know the deal. Just sharing my opinion. I'm going to try and take some live trades today, but know that I'm not perfect. But in the end, my goal is to take as many trades when I feel my odds are in favor. So, I'd always try to execute a stop loss or understand an area where a stop loss is. And obviously it depends on the company that I'm investing in. I don't disclose the size that I go. I might say little, medium, large, I don't know. Uh, and I don't physically show you my portfolio, but we are going to go over some analysis here. Let's start with the let's go over the Nasdaq. Let's go over to the NQ, see what the futures are looking like here, and see what we can expect. So, yeah, really good close last week. It's going to flirt with this price. Let's just clear out the charts right here. Yeah, good volume came in on, had a very good Friday. Let's go to a 15-minute chart and you guys can see we're still way up, elevated up here over positive positive. So this is our pre-market. We actually just traded sideways for a long time. Now when we go negative right here, we're flirting with it, but look how we hold support. Here's this same support, and we haven't traded underneath of it. Had you seen a pre-market where the price fell underneath of this, it would have been interesting. But why don't we? Why don't we? Why do the buyers come in? In my opinion, it's because more people want to buy than sell when we are sitting positive on your 50 commodity and positive on your 25 commodity. The buyers come in. Now, where was a potential move where we could have expected buyers? This is what I do. When I mark that run right there, my first line is your entry and halfway. So this wick would have never wicked me in on any orders right here. But that doesn't mean that you can't end up taking a trade. Look at when we go positive here in pre-market. Boom. This is 1 hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours ago. So this was 5:30. 5:30 in the morning. As it's continuing to hold this support, boom, you get green engulfing right through that. Goes on a run. Here's your U shape right here. See how it puts this high last night? This is about early. This is early in the day right here. Boom. Look at this U shape. As soon as you break over top of this high right here, this is the green candle that you get. Boom, right there. Now you're resting on top of that. Where could you have put orders? Right here on this previous high. Look where we come down to. Boom. Now we're taking out this high. Now we're wicking down into this. Elevated on both on a 15-minute chart. I would expect continuation. I would expect this support to hold very good on the NQ. So NQ looks good. Oil over 82. I'll be damned, guys. If you guys have seen any of my live streams, you know I've been very big on oil. You guys know I've been talking up oil. Why have I been talking up oil? Same story, guys. Same story. You go positive, positive. This is early in the week on last week, a week ago right here, is when you're starting to go positive. And now we're just churning away from this consolidation period, oil 4.5%. And we're setting a new high after a confirmed higher low. We've identified a channel, so could we expect a little bit of resistance? Yes, we could, but I would say we're probably coming in on some sort of downtrend right here. This could be saying, hey, confirmation that we're actually getting through this downtrend. So yeah, that in a sense looks pretty dang good. And I think some of the oil plays are looking good. So I mean, I'm going to continue respecting this uptrend right here. Boom, 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 boom. We start doing this channel when we come to this uptrend. Very good sign. I like the way that looks. So I'd say, you know, if oil holds above this 81.50, I'd say Oil plays are all in effect today. And we are getting ready to potentially go negative on a 15, so maybe it could be setting up bearish, but this has some pretty solid support down here to 81. So it could be a little headwinds in some of the oil plays. Maybe it's not today, maybe it's later on in the week, who knows. Okay, we got 13 minutes to the open. I know AMD is looking really good, getting a nice gap up. Let's see what that looks like on a day chart. Took a live trade for you guys with AMD last week. Gapping up pretty much to this top. So it didn't even hold this gap fill in regard at all. But we went positive. We liked it. We bought some consolidation periods in here. Get the gap down through the channel. Did we panic? No, we didn't really panic because we set a close above our EMA. Could have been a wick down. The stop loss is 67, but we did have 67 on our head, in the back of our head during this red day. But there was a lot down like this, and a lot kind of looked like this. We do slightly go back negative. Okay. You did have this gap fill. That is realistic possibility that it could have came down to that gap fill. So a bull and a bear case scenario. Baba, we were looking to cut some Baba yesterday or on Friday. Right now, pre-market price 120.30. It's going to be interesting to see if this can officially fill this 120.79 gap. So we're going to have Baba on watch today. I'm not actually in my trading view app. I just realized that. There we go. One that I'm going to probably be taking a live trade with is MetaFast. Let's go to the day chart. We really were thinking about taking the trade last week. We knew that this 120 was going to be resistance. We got the 119.31. Okay, it wicks through that, and we set a close below that. That's the only reason why we didn't take a trade. We played with MetaFast over here. Break of this wick. We had some outs at this previous top. I cannot say that I had outs on either of these 2 days. And then we got stopped out of our position. So it took some profits, took some losses. Okay, why did we get ready to cut the position? Because we went negative. Big, large, red engulfing right there. And, this was also during a day when it was showing weakness compared to the general market as well. But we do have this channel identified. Boom, boom, boom. Third point of contact. Held above it. I could have held strong for this trend line, but I simply said this is a play that I can buy back later. This is a play that I can get back into, no problems asked. And this is why I had my other screen pulled up right here. I'm going to go back to it and show you guys. So here's Baba, here's MetaFast right here. The gap up today over 120, so pre-market. Okay, so catching a little bit of resistance here. Now we're only sitting at this 119 flat. So 119 flat is going to put us right there, right at our 5. As soon as we take out last week's high, which call it 119.80, I mean, this is going to be hard to pass up. So these are your day indicators right here. A lot of congestion right here. If it's able to confirm this trajectory to the north side, you can see the higher lows, you can see the higher highs. The potential is there for a run up to this gap fill right here, which meets in at about that 140 flat, which is your 200 daily. Now, when I go to weekly, same story. Congested moving averages right there. It just got done paying a dividend, maybe some congestion from that, maybe some selling pressure from that. But I would say that this looks pretty good. And you have this 50 period on a weekly chart still sitting right here around these 140s as well. So going back over to the MetaFast, if we have 140 targeted, 140, this gap fill, and we think it's potential that we can get a run up to that. Just the top of the trend line, just previous high, 8%, top of the channel, 13.5%, and up to that 140 gap fill, 17.5%. Now, of course, you're going to have your outs on the way, and who knows, maybe it gets rejected, and this positive means nothing, and we end up cracking this trend line. Okay, At the end of the day, this is a fundamentally sound company that pays a 5.5% dividend. Now, you're not going to be in on that dividend right now, but at the end of the day, fundamentally sound company, free cash flow positive, pays out a growing dividend, and the chart setup's pretty good. So yes, we're going to take our chance on it today if we get the setup that we like. Let's go over to a 15-minute chart on MetaFast. You can see this is why we couldn't take the trade at the end of the day. You see how we stayed negative? Negative. It was so close to turning positive. And this is why I say probably this 119.50 break over the high wick of that. Now this chart isn't really isn't really processing that good. So I don't really like that, but that doesn't change the fact that this daily chart is pretty decent looking. Not a high volume stock by any means, but we like the setup that it looks. We look from a more longer term, and you can see it's got this same channel. Could you get some sell off down to the bottom end of this channel? Okay, yeah, maybe. Let's go pull up a calculator. They pay a total dividend of 6.5. We'll just say 6.5. So we're going to take 6.5 divided by current price. If you're able to get, let's say 96 bottom wick there, and 83 is the bottom of the channel. Let's say you got 90. 7.2%. Buying at pretty decent support. So this is one that we're going to definitely keep on watch if it ends up going south on us after we take the trade. 100%. Let's see what else we got for today. Neo looks pretty decent for continuation if it's going to get this gap up right here. Showing a 120 pre-market. Getting ready to go back positive, positive. I would expect this 15-minute the gap up like this. You know, how's it going to act with this gap fill if it gets some sell off down to it? That's still above that 11. I like how it closed above 11. Now, if you get that false breakout below that gap fill, this one or this 1108 gap fill, you have 11 flat to bail you out. And after that, you have 1071, which is where your moving average is on your daily chart, and you also have a gap fill at 1075 that it failed to get down to on Friday. Did not have the weakness to get down to that gap on Friday. I say Neo, keep it on watch, especially if Tesla is going to keep moving the way that Tesla's moving. I would expect Neo to keep churning away along with it. Now Tesla outperforming Neo right now, and Tesla is still negative here on our 50 commodity. So, you know, how many of them have I showed you guys where it goes on a run, ends up building a U shape? On Tesla, we already have identified 122 and a quarter gap fill, and then you have the 113 gap fill. Is it possible for Tesla to give out this, fairly size uptrend right here? Um, and potentially sell off, set a confirmed higher low at one of these gaps, and then that's your run, go on a U shape. We do have this gap fill that Tesla failed to get to. So potential runs to 137.5 for Tesla today. It looks like it's going to gap up right near this previous high. So it's going to have to fight through some shorts. And let's see if it can get to this gap fill and potentially the upper channel. And oil looks like we're still holding above 82. It peaked below it just briefly. Affirm looks good for continuation. You're at wick high from yesterday or from last week, which just so happens to be 1450. I would say Affirm looks pretty good for a potential run to the north. Breakout price above that 1450, pretty much where we're currently sitting. Let's clear the chart on AMD. So fighting completely through this gap fill right here. Is it going to get a hard sell off right at the beginning of the day down to this 70? Let's go look at the TQ real quick. Actually, let's take a peek at oil. INDO holding above 6, definitely one to keep on watch for positive. INDO high flyer back in the first oil push earlier in the year. but could call this some sort of trend line channel, and it's holding inside of this channel at the time being. MRO, we don't have a pre-market on it. Live trade we took last week on Nikola. Getting a nice gap up today. How's it going to act if we try to retrace back down to 250 and fill that gap? Looks pretty good. NOG now. Let's take a look at the NQ real quick and make sure everything looks good. As we're getting the opening bell right here, looks like a bit of sell-off coming into the bell. You know, NQ could potentially turn negative here as well. You're below your moving average. How is this support going to hold up? Now, where your entry is, where you go positive, positive. Here's your entry, here's your breakout price right there. Boom, right above that wick. Here's where this first wick comes down to. Anyone who took this breakout price, if you get below that, they are going to start losing money. And when they have this entry, they've already been sitting in this for 2 hours. You want this next candle to turn green and start turning up. You want it to get back above 11.7 realistically. And we're about to get the opening bell here. Not quite there yet, but we should be really close. Looks like good continuation from Amazon. No need to mess with that position whatsoever. Looks pretty good. BKKT gapping down below 2. Interesting enough. There's your gap down. Okay, we have open market. Let's go to what's moving here. COSM down 10. Affirm right around that 150. Nothing really moved down too bad. Open looking like it's catching a little bit of a bid right here. Open straight through that gap fill on a day chart. It is positive, doesn't look half bad. You know, keep MSGM on watch here. Breakout above this, if it starts claiming 4, could be looking at a nice U-shaped build right here for a 425 break. Mullen gapped up above that 30 cent. Mullen could be one to keep on watch as well. Breakout price on Mullen, 32, call it. WLK. Rig. Where's Rig at? Medifast. Where do we? Oh, my price on Med. Let's go pull that up on the. Okay, so we didn't get a gap up on Med like we thought we might get. Rig looks good for continuation. Gapped up. Let's see if it can hold this gap fill. Nikola, we said gap up. Let's see how it acts with 250 gap fill. NRG catching a little bit of a bid. We're looking for 33 breaks on NRG. As soon as we get 33 breaks, we think that we can start filling this gap fill, having out at 34.50. Oil with gap up. Let's look at some other oil plays. Tilray getting ready to potentially slow positive. Dino, we said watch for this ability U-shape. We didn't pull the trigger on any of these U-shape on any part of this breakout right here. HPQ getting back, ready to go back positive. HPQ looking pretty decent. Hibbit holding that channel. We thought we might have to cut the position on Hibbit today. Light flirting with this 60 break. Now, if you can get this 60 break, watch out for the start of the gap fill. But once you get to starting to fill that gap fill, it might not go straight to it, but you can expect potential move up to this 70, which is a pretty decent return. WY, they got earnings coming up. We are still holding a piece of this as we went positive right here. And now we're actually starting to hold. We said, we can probably run a deep stop down to this 30 flat. Expect 30 to hold, and here we are. This could be said as a confirmed higher low right there. And now we're trying to set higher highs. Is it going to retrace back to this gap fill? So you see that it gapped up. How is it going to act? A descending channel, and it respects this uptrend. Boom. See that last wick right there? Boom. And you got a secondary uptrend right there. Now retracing back down to the gap fill. 32 flat. Doesn't seem half bad. Huge volume at the end of the day. Let's go update our changed. Open. Looks good for continuation. MSGM. Watch out for a break of 4, but it's got some resistance. Your breakout price at 425. Here's your 425. Let's see if it can hold above 4. On a 15-minute chart, you're going positive, positive. Let's check and make sure we got settled cash here. We might test the waters just a little bit here. And we got plenty of settled cash today, guys. So we are going to keep MSGM on watch. Neo, we said that we wanted to watch Neo. Gapped up. Where does it put this wick to? Right to this previous high. This was actually your breakout price on a 15-minute chart at the end of the day Friday. As it's holding above positive, 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 sets this confirmed higher low. I tried to buy more Neo right at the close when I seen this bid. Order did not get through. And now you're getting ready to test this 1130, which has a really good uptrend that held. Boom, there's your gap up. Now you're looking for continuation. Now, one thing that I like about these flat top gaps, your gap fill is at the all-time high price. Once it gets filled, you got a bunch of people FOMOing in that are going to try to take the break of 1180 up to 12 because it's above that quarter, it's above that 1175. And look at that, like a clock. We said keep Neo on watch right here. Let's go see how Tesla's doing with that gap up. So it gaps up, it tries to push over the high, short order off of that. Now let's see if it can work through that. You're elevated on Tesla. Tesla looks good. Let's see how it acts with this 137.50 gap fill. We want to make sure it just doesn't wick through that and big seller comes in. But after that 137.50, I'd say Tesla looks pretty decent. But it is turning red since open. Now let's go back to Neo real quick. Let's get a refresh on our changed. MSGM still holding right at that 4. Neo catching a nice bid. Tilray, keep the weed on play. We can potentially think about adding a position here on Tilray if it continues catching a bid like this. Not a terrible look there. FVRR looks really good for continuation. Let's hit a refresh over here. What's our BABA looking like? So gapped up slightly. Now you're getting a little bit of consolidation pullback. Can it hold this 119. Still holding the uptrend from last week, but we were expecting to see a gap up right there. And so yeah, we're seeing a little bit, and I think we're gonna get stopped out of a little piece here at 11 at 119.10, and it looks like we are. It does not look like this is gonna hold, and we're probably going to be, nope, holding a little bit above this. Let me go make sure that I actually do have a stop in right here, because if I do, it probably just stopped me out of some shares. No, I had no fill, but now let's throw a stop in at 118.90. 118.90, we don't want to hold the entire piece. We'll go with there. 118.90. Let's give it a little bit more time. Let's see if we can get any buyers come in on our 50. BKKT. Looks like we're getting ready to go negative, negative there as well. Not a terrible look on an ACI. Let's look at the daily on that. Yeah, still holding positive, positive. It gaps up. Looks like it attempt to fill the gap. Not a half bad look there. Looks like we got Framework Fortune in the building. How we doing today? Affirm catching a nice bid. New highs on Affirm. No interest in even looking at that the rest of the day. Let's let it work for us. APPN. This was new on the stop or the list. Sitting positive, positive. Friday caught a nice bid. Looking for pullbacks at 38 flat. Yeah, I got a nice stop on a few shares on Baba. Didn't get any of this sell up here at this 120s. We thought we could get 120.80. Wasn't able to get it. BKKT. Put a stop loss in underneath this wick, even though it's underneath this support right here. Could hold 170s, but getting ready to potentially go negative negative on a commodity right there. So we're gonna respect. So we are going to respect this 180. HKD, we said that if this can hold 11, potential trade, but not looking like it. PayPal, put a wick into the trend line. A lot of indecision here. There's your indecision happening as your positive. Positive's gonna have to fight. IPPR, I would expect continuation to the downside. How's it gonna hold up at these 88s? Flat bottom breakdown right here potentially, where you have a gap fill here at 80.38. So let's see how it acts at the lower 80s. Be big, goes on a run, builds a U shape. This is what we're looking for. Let's see if it can push. This is probably going to be a couple days this week. But you could take a trade if this ends up being into a U shape where we get a positive break. So be big is on the watch. Holding positive on EXEL. CrowdStrike. Wanted this keep churning up a little bit before we end up taking the trade on CrowdStrike. INDO holding this 6. We had orders off a 6 flat, and here's why it gaps up. Put an order in off 6. Got filled on the money last week on Friday. Beautiful. Open, continuing with continuation. AMD gets gaps up pretty much to the highs. Now it's taking out the highs. AMD looking very bullish right here. Neo broke through 1150. I'll be damned. Look at this one, guys. This is the first one we looked at on the stream right here. Back tested previous high. Boom. Continuation. New high. How's it going to act? This is a flat top gap. So we like a good flat top gap because we should expect a breakthrough at that 1180 for a push. Look at Nicola. We said gap up. How's it going to act? Didn't have the strength to get down this 250 and catching a nice bid. NKLA. Sitting in on a position. Hold on, I gotta look at this text. And potentially starting to eke its way out of this downtrend right here is the cows. Holding strong, you're positive. Let's see if this can get real frisky and break over 49.50. That would be lovely. DVN, continuation, gaps up, attempts to fill the gap, getting some buyers to come in. You're going positive. DVN, we already have a small position here, but that's your look. And green engulfing candle on the second 15-minute candle, guys. Keep that one ready to go. EAF, looking for continuation, and looks like we're finally going to start breaking out here. Good buying pressure coming into this. Here's your breakout price to potentially send us up to this flat top gap. We like flat top gap because this is where we're looking for breakouts right here. And now we have a gap right here at this 684. Potential move still on EAF. 5%, 18%. That is what we're liking to see right there. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Now you're breaking over top of this U shape. Let's see if we can get some volume into this. EOG, another oil play. Looks good, just went positive. Looks good for continuation. FANG, good for continuation. Positive. Fidelity, we had a nice green candle, gaps up, fills the gap, and continues to run, and getting some consolidation buying pressure and off this 73.50 is a low. Let's go to a 15-minute chart here and take a look at this. So you're positive here, getting a run. Now still holding positive. If it can break over top of this high right here, call it a 74.25. Looks good for continuation. Med over this 120. Now this is where we want to take the trade. And it looks like we're going to be a little bit late, but let's get a market order in for this and test the waters here. Affirm, affirm, affirm. Looking golden. TQ looking good. PLTK, we'll go take a look at that. But let's go get this market order in for Med, because this is looking like she's wants to have some continuation here. Oh man, the current price over the ask and the bid. Let's look at a 15-minute here. Let's just start our position here. Yep, let's go ahead and do it. Let's see where we got filled, because this chart is not very accurate to where we're at. So we got a 120.72 fill. Now let's put some orders in off of this 120.55. Okay, so we got two orders there. Meta looks good for continuation. MRO gaps. Oh, we should have looked at MRO. Gaps up over 28. Oh, beautiful, 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 beautiful. This looks pretty good right here. Here's your gap up. We're still. No, we actually. Okay, so we gap up, go straight down. Gaps up intraday. We're right at this downtrend. Had a false breakout of this downtrend before. Yeah, going positive, positive. Let's test the waters here too. Let's go. Not the greatest entry. I would have liked to maybe buy this consolidation. Gap up. Would have liked to go at 14.05 or 9 cents off, but let's give it a go. MRVI. MRVI, and then let's go one for this. If we can get a pullback to that 14.05, let's do it. MRVI. We'll go another size right there. 14. We'll go 14.10 actually. That's looking pretty decent. Okay, now what do we need to go over? First on the board, Neo pumping away. What did I? Come on, guys. All kinds of call outs here. Look at this. Boom, right there. Wick right to the previous high. Exactly how he called it out. And boom, look at that continuation. Looks good. NKLA, NKLA, NKLA. Nicole right underneath it. Yeah, look at this continuation, guys. How's it going to act with this flat top right here? Boom. 270. Look at the daily chart. Positive, positive. There's your breakout price. Boom. Confirmed higher low. Now you're going to set a higher high. There's your inverse head and shoulders. Can it push to this down? Trades in a channel. Let's see how it acts with the top end. Previous high over here. Right at 3. NRG, we said we want to see it break over 33. Not quite there. What else we got? Affirm. Yeah, Affirm is ripping. New high day on Affirm. Gaps up, fills the gap, turns bullish. Exactly how we called it out. Where's the gap up to? Right at the previous high. Boom. fills this gap. Your gap fill buyers come in at 14.25, and boom, there's your continuation. Exactly how we draw it up. ALSN. Oh boy, early to the ball game here, fellas. Oh no, still a little bit early. Potential confirmation though. Look at this. Here's your candle day. You gap up. Doesn't have any weakness to come down to this gap yet. So we have an open gap right here. Shaved bottom. Let's see if it can push up to these 42.50. Let's see a run to 42.50, and then we can think about potentially taking a trade at the break of 43 and the break of into the 44s. Why do we like this one so much? Downtrend, breaks the downtrend, back test the top of it. Now you're setting a confirmed higher low off of that. AMD looks good for continuation, we said, and sure enough, we are getting some continuation. Exactly what we want to see. Let's throw an order in right just so I don't have to watch this too much. Let's throw it in at 77.40 and see if we can get that run up there. Amazon, we said it looks good. Positive, positive. Look at this wick in the middle of this green candle. Gorgeous. APPN, we said previous high right here. Boom, comes down to the T. Now you're getting ready to, let's see a 39 break. So 39 break is right here. Yeah, it's already elevated. Doesn't look that bad. Baba, catching a nice bid. Still elevated. We're still over positive on the 50. TQ. Let's go take a look at the TQ. TQ, what did we say, guys? What did we say? Gap up, fills the gap. Here's your flat top that it's back testing the top of. Boom! New high on the TQ. Print, 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 and we just officially went positive right here. I would say if you close over 21, this is a win. We said we're looking to get this 21.81 gap. Let's go for it. Let's throw a couple orders in right before that. 21.70. Let's go do that right now before I forget. Oh yeah, we got a lot to get into still. Okay, all set. What do we want to talk? PLTK, was that on there? Sure is. PLTK. This was a live trade we took. Look at this continuation, guys. This is what we're all about here. 15-minute. Boom, took it at the end of the day as it's holding 950. Get kind of bailed out. But we didn't get the gap up, fill the gap. We had orders in at 958. We're at 955 at this price right here. But just continuation. We no need to panic and think about selling. We could cut a piece at this high, but this looks pretty good. That's a confirmed break of the downtrend and back test of it. Boom, break the downtrend, back test, top of it. Boom, setting new highs. Sitting at 1050 right now. Palantir. How's it going to act with this downtrend? We're just getting ready to go positive. If I go to a 15-minute chart, yeah, this looks good for continuation. But, still not setting a new high. You'd want to see 25 or 725 break, but then you got to worry about that 730. But if it can get over that 730, I'd say this looks really good. Pure Storage, building a nice U shape right there. Your breakout price is over top, so gaps up over top of your breakout price. Wicks down just a little bit before we turn in green right here. Let's go back to a daily on this. And we are at that early entry stage, but we still have this gap fill at 26.72. Let's see how we act. Rivian catching some volume. We had Rivian on this watch. Now this looks pretty good. We're right around this breakout price. Call it an 18 break, but you're still negative, negative. You could wait for some consolidation back down into here. Neo, still not quite over top of that breakout price of 1180, but it wicked up towards it pretty decent. Tilray getting very close to going to that positive. Zoom, yeah, Zoom is gonna be a play this week, I'm pretty sure. Very close to going positive. A nice green candle. You had a gap down. It goes into the middle of this green candle, which we had marked 68.50. Yeah, looks pretty good. SoFi, new highs. We said we like continuation, and now it's actually looking like it's breaking over top of last week's highs. But we are very close. We should go throw a sell order in right off of this gap. Let's go ahead and do that because let's go to a 15-minute chart. Make sure this is looking good. Yeah, it looks good. But on this little death candle right here, yep, increased selling pressure. Let's just go and take a piece off of this market actually. Let's go find it. Let's take a little piece off. That's a nice run right there. This is a 19%er. 19% profits. We like it. We like it. We like it. Took a piece off, locked it in. Now we're holding the rest, sitting good. Rig. Let's go find rig. Rig right here. Big volume coming in the rig right now. Don't like the look of this candle though, and we had 622 marked, and it's happening right at our 622. So we had 622 marked for potential breakout price. So maybe we can give this a little bit of time. But yeah, those double wicks into that, I just doesn't look the greatest. But we are elevated. We can keep this one on watch. Let's see how it acts with this gap fill before we think about giving up on that one. Affirm, ripping, guys, ripping. This was a live trade we took on Friday. On Friday, where did we put this? I mean, you can't draw it up any better than that. Boom, got filled twice. Look at this continuation. Look at this volume coming into this. This is gorgeous. You can't draw it up any better than that. Square. We have a 19%er on Square right now. Do we want to take any profits? Let's go take a look at Square. On a 15-minute, you gap up. Sets this kind of a death candle right here. Okay, we just got the new candle open. Wherever this next candle's low is, if it goes a little bit lower and catches a little bit of a wick into the middle of this, we'll stop loss a bit right underneath this, but it looks like it wants to turn green right here. So let's give that a little bit of time, but we're definitely gonna keep that one on watch. TQ. I might actually just take this order off. I know it sounds crazy. I preach these gaps. I should have an out right here. We have some really good entries here. But this looks really good. Going positive. We don't really have that confirmed higher low though. That's the only thing that's a little bit off. SWN, with the oil catching a bid, it does have a wick down there. Let's take a look at the 15-minute here. Okay, so here we are going to have a potential trade. I'm going to disregard the top end of this candle right here. I'm going to disregard the top end of this red candle, and we're going to say over top of day's high. So we have, this is your opening candle, boom. There's your wick that you set on the next candle. And we're trying to hold 575. If we can break back over top of 580 and rest above 580, we'll think about taking a trade here. It's a little bit early entry. We're still negative down here. But, oil looks good, and this could be early. This is that confirmed higher low almost. And I'm sure you got some sort of trend line built in right here. You sure do. Boom, 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 boom. Looks pretty good. Yeah, when you draw it up like that, it doesn't look half bad. So this is why we can dip our toes in. We like the way the portfolio is looking right now. And let's take a look. Vail has been respecting this downtrend. And it's starting to give up this 18 flat. Let's stop a few shares underneath 1790. So let's go ahead. How many shares do we got? Okay, so let's get ready to take a piece off. If this falls below 1790 today, we'll stop out of some shares. Not everything. We're still elevated here, so we don't need to really panic that bad. PayPal only slightly in the red. This was supposed to be a bigger gap down. Med. We need to go back to Med. I still like the way that this looks, but we don't want this to start turning against us. It's a pretty decent look right here. Let's just do one more order right here. And we'll give it that. So we like the way our position's looking on Med. Neo looks good for continuation. NRG, we want to keep an eye on this for 33 flat. Open, continuing to catch a bid. This was the first one I said looked hot off the gate. Boom. Great continuation. Nice shaved bottom. You're positive. Looks pretty good. PLTK holding above 1052. Looks pretty good. MRVI. So starting to pan out right here. We had an order in off 1410. Let's go see if that got filled real quick. Let's go back over to our orders and check it out. Nope, our 1410 didn't get filled. But we got filled at 1414, so we're in the money. Nice little volume. Opening day. Holds. 3 candles. 1, 2, 3. Now let's see it turn up, and we want to see it break day's high. Affirm. Still ripping, guys. Still ripping. Straight through 1550. Gaps up, fills the gap beautifully. AMD. Yeah, I mean, we just want to take a small piece off at this 77.50, but it looks pretty good for continuation. QDEL back over 90, guys. You know, this is how you test the resilience of a play. Let's go pull up the QDEL. Had this channel identified for some time now. Now, I did tweak it a few times. Before I had it like this, and we were sitting holding this level right here. Just holding this level. How many? Goes on a run, build to U-shape. Now it's just turning into a buy on Friday, and now this is your continuation that you're getting. Breakout above this neckline right here. If you push to the top end of the channel, you expect this 93.50 to hold beautifully. PayPal, sorry, I gotta cancel off of that. PayPal, if it can break Friday's high, there's your gap price. Boom, and 79 flat is basically your gap fill. Here's your gap down. Now we're working up to fill this gap. If there is no large selling on that, so we're wicking as we're getting to that. We want to see that gap get filled right there. Roadblocks. This gap did get filled. On this candle, there's your sellers off the gap. Now you stay green. And now let's see if we can get an extension price up to this 38.20. So far we did have a small market cut. And that is only because we've seen this red candle getting closer to our gap fill at 585 with increasing selling pressure. Only reason. Square looks good for continuation. We do have a channel right here. Let's call it a 80 flat. We can think about a potential trim on the position, but we got nothing there at 80. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I lied. Okay, so here's where our gap fill. 79, 72. So we're looking for potential gap fills up to that. Pins. You know, I could go ahead and put a stop loss underneath this 25.50 for a potential trim on the position, but we're still holding our hands with this one. We think that we can get this break over the top end of this channel. Let's go back to the top movers again. Rivian on a tear. Neo getting very close to this 1180. Tesla, and that's why. Look at Tesla setting new highs on Tesla. You know, looks like our next area for resistance is going to be right around this 146 to 150. So I would say it looks good for continuation. If I go to the 15-minute chart, I already know what it's going to look like. It's going to look bullish. Oil below 82. We really want 82 to hold by the end of the day, and we're expecting buyers to come in. So here's 81.96. Next area we want 81. So just play oil in ranges of dollars. Right now we're underneath that 82, getting ready to potentially go negative. That's not what we want to see. And Neo officially a newer high, broke over top of last week's high. So Neo looks pretty good for some continuation. And like a clock up to 1185, I seen 1186. Yes. Rig. Okay, I bet I need to go back and check out on some. Light. Broke over last week's high. Exactly what we wanted to see. Beautiful. Us with the gap up, never filled the gap at 386. B pop. Gaps up, fills the gap on B pop. Potential add here actually. Where is B pop? Disney looks good for continuation. Excel. Excelix. HKD back over. You know what? Let's test the waters here. Ah, back over 11. How much do I want to risk here, boys? Definitely not to there. Let's go 1075. We'll give it 1070 right here. Let's go ahead and try a trade on HKD. Doesn't look half bad. Just went positive, positive. We can throw an order in off 11 flat as well. Let's go ahead and try it. HKD. I don't know actually. I don't know how much this chart is telling the truth, but we're not actually holding over 11. So if it's not holding over 11, then I think this is a no-go until we're confirmed over 11. Yeah, there is some decent size at 11 flat too. We're sitting at 10.99 right now. If it can take out this order right here, we can think about it. It's gotta take out the order though. Yep, got rejected right there. So yeah, now this is updating. It's not at 11 right now. It's at 10.98. Oh, we did just break through 11 though. Let's jump in. Let's jump in for it. And let's throw an order in off that 11. HKD. Let's try it for a little bit more size right off 11 flat. And let's go put that stop loss in right away. So risking about 30 cents. You know, if it goes against me, it goes against me here, guys. But let's see how this goes. We've had this gap fill identified for a while. We're just looking for early entry here. If we can hold above 11, I think that we're good. Did we get filled right there on that tap to 11? No, we did not. So it just tapped 11 flat and we didn't get filled. So let's see if that can come back and tap 11 flat again and see if somebody will sell us their shares. Let's see if this order gets filled first, and then I can update my stop loss, and then I can come look back. Oh boy, Neo, straight through 12. This is what we're looking for, boys. Yes, sir. Nicola set new high from last week. AMD looking bullish. FVRR looking good. TQ looking good. PLTK looking golden. Mullen, we got Mullen on watch. Now we are positive, but still negative on this 25. So let's give it, you know, if this gets back over 31, we can think about jumping back in the Mullen. Okay, so I did just get triggered in on HKD. So let's go put this stop loss in. Stop loss in at 1070. If that goes against us, it goes against us. Alright, our stop is in. Now we should get some volume in here. I think we should get some volume. Now we did not get increasing volume on this candle before right here. This can we did get a little bit. And we got a lot of time left. A big sell right there. So let's see if we can get some volume to come into that. And like I said, that is just a day trade by all means. You guys are on your own there. If you guys are following me blind there, I'm only testing the waters with that because the portfolio was looking pretty good in my opinion. So, I mean, that's my thought process behind it. You guys do not have to take the trade on that. By all means. QDEL, little rejection. MRVI did not come back to that 1410. So, we're going to leave that order in. If it gets filled, it gets filled. You know, I think that it has a potential that it could come back down to that. Are getting a little bit of a sell-off, looking like everything's just kind of in consolidation right now. And here's a potential entry right here on APPN if wanted. Comes back to the previous high wick right there. So is this gonna start rolling over? You know, realistically, the entry was probably over here on this negative. Or when we're positive, positive, boom. Here's your consolidation. Now you get the gap up. Hussa, just chilling right there. MRO, gap up, still holding above the gap. ACI, now this looks pretty good here. Pretty good. Boom, gaps up, tries to fill the gap. Gaps up intraday. We like when our stuff gaps up intraday. WSM goes on a run, builds a U shape. Where's your entry? Boom, here's where you go positive. Breakout over top of this wick right here, and boom, straight through the previous high. Good volume right here. Now just kind of stagnant. You gap up, opening candle. You fill, gap up, fill the gap. Now you're about to break day's high. WSM. Let's go look at the daily chart on this. Yeah, guys, it filled this gap and it's holding above that gap right now. WSM, not a half bad look. RRC, okay, a little consolidation there, that's fine. Farmers, we've had farmers on watch. We basically said, we got this previous low. If it gives this up, I mean, there's no way we can possibly hold it. If I wanted to move that up below this wick right there, then I'm just selling it at support. So yeah, we're gonna stay true to that and go below this wick right here. If it wants to come down, probably be able to buy it at a later date. Maybe it comes down to this support, rolls up, and we're taking a break at 13. Nah, gaps. Oh, this doesn't look half bad here, guys. Nog. 15-minute. Gaps up, fills a gap, gaps up again intraday. So right here, giving you a potential entry right here. It's trying to hold 32.50. Let's go look at the day chart again. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. For a potential breakout of this 33, if you get that. Look at this uptrend. And look at that. That's golden right there. Gosh. Some of these plays, I might just have to start trying to test the waters a little bit right off the uptrend. Because already when I'm entering into this, missing out on 15%. I'll throw it on the HKD while I'm gone, even though that this chart is not the most setup. And med, this is why we threw an extra order in the med, because this looked really good on the daily. We had 3 different orders that we put in, FOMO'd in a little bit, bought the consolidation dip back to 120 on our last one. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now if we set a new high on that, that looks really good. Meta. Oh gosh, guys, this is just MSGM. We said it needs a break 4. What did it do? It got rejected at 4. Neo. We'll leave it on Neo for you guys, cause look at that. I've been calling Neo how long? I'll be back. And we're back. Anyone watching? Nope. That's alright. I'll take all the plays myself, I guess. And we are still alive. BHG. You know, this does have strength. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. Positive, positive. But I think we just stay away from that for right now. How's HKD doing? HKD, a holding 11. How are we going to get paid on this one? That's the question. Can we see some volume come into this? I could say 1080. You don't want to see that look. Boom. It didn't get filled on Hussa. Surprisingly. Neo just pumping. MSGM right back up to this 4. It came down here. Look at that volume. Hold up, hold up, hold up. We might have one right here. On a day chart, look at that volume that comes in. This is this uptrend that we had. Getting ready to go back positive. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. How many of them have I showed you? Getting ready for a break of 4 potentially. That is the volume spike that we were looking for. And not very much volume, obviously. So very early to the game, but we said break of 4 and we can test the waters here. Let's go pull this up, see what the bid and ask looks like. Not much size here at this 399. Not much size at all. No volume has come into this. A lot of people, it's probably just going under the radar, under people's. Netflix, pretty decent right there. Tilray, you'd want to see consolidation periods back to this 305, but I mean, doesn't look half bad. You're elevated, of course. Zoom, flirting with the previous high. Let's see some pullbacks. We don't want this to get super bullish on us right away. Are getting ready to go positive, positive. You could have took the break, 70 break. You'd be sitting really good right now. Palantir looks pretty good. Positive, positive now on Palantir. Where's your entry? 688. Warner Brothers looks pretty good. Getting ready to test new highs. And we did tap that almost. Almost tapped 60 on light. Looks pretty good. MRVI, live trade we took for you guys. Just churning away. We got a 1414 print. Another gap up intraday. Boom. Gaps up, fills the gap, gaps up intraday. Goes on a run, has one consolidation candle, gaps up intraday. Boom, new high a day. There's just no volume coming into that right now. We're not gonna. RHI just sitting on our hands. Sitting on our hands. SoFi, a little bit bearish. Almost filled that gap. JCCO look like a little bit red, but holding strong. Boom, gaps up intraday. Here's your opening candle. When you see a gap over a key level like this, I mean it just looks bullish. But this gap up intraday did get very close to this gap fill. Something to watch out for. Celsius, a nice flat top right there. Doesn't look that bad. Let's go to the daily chart on here. Goes on a run, builds a U shape. How's that for a channel? Huh? Huh? Come on. Just fanning sideways. Look at the monthly on this. Gives you a good perspective. Sloping up, getting an exit on a monthly. If this can break through, looks very good there. But does have really good support built in at these tops, which is where we've come down to. Are we going to come down to it again? Fastenal looks pretty good, although very elevated. Here's your breakout price, Fastenal. Call it a 49.50 break. HKD gave up 11. You know, we can just go cut this if we want to. Let's just up the stop to 1080. Looks like it's going to go against us. We went back negative, negative. We'll give it this candle close here. Lumen, 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 Lumen. There's your breakout. Putting wicks at the previous high. Potential breakout of that bull flag right there. Yeah, I think this is gonna end up being a 550. 550. If it can show the strength up here, we'll take a swing at it. Neo, a little bit of sell off, as expected. I mean that run right there was just a magnificent run. 8% run in the last hour and a half. NRG churning away. I was just gonna look at 33. Is he gonna have some consolidation pullback at 33? Where's your entry here, guys? Positive break over. Call it a 31.50 break. Boom, just like that. Like a clock. Open, getting a pullback. Still has a 160 gap. Pins a little bit bearish. PLTK, like a clock. Set new day's high. We said there was a lot of volume coming into PayPal. Now it's got this gap filled. Yeah, we just want to see some consolidation here. Could take a breakout right there. Zoom catching some wind. Catching some headwinds here. Tailwinds, I meant. Potential consolidation orders at this 71 flat. HKD holding 11. This is why I stay true to a stop loss. You don't just panic and run away from your plays when you've been watching them set up for you. And now we are getting some size on the bid. 52 lots on the bid here at 1098. Here's your breakout price, 1107. Day's high, 1106. 1105, you can call it right there. 1105. MRVI caught a bid. Live trade today, boys. Live trade. MRVI. How about that one? Huh? Continuing. 1435. And I think that's gonna call it for today. Yeah, everything just kind of sitting back, holding the plays, and just watching them play out. As long as the DQ looks good, I mean, there's really nothing that we're looking to do. The entries were last week and the week before, and I think we are sitting pretty good right now where we're at. TQ continuing to be bullish. We can think about monitoring this at this 2175, which is a gap down over here back in December. So, I mean, goes on a run, builds a U shape. It's what we preach here. It's looking like a nice U shape right here. Could potentially turn to a W pattern though. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, TQ looking pretty good. If there were viewers watching, I would love to do some analysis on some of your guys' plays or what you guys want me to look at, but since nobody's watching, that's maybe another day down the road. And HKD up to 1103, so yeah, we're really gonna monitor at this 1105. But yeah, bids are stacking on 11 right now, and we like the way this is looking. So and we're chilling at 1103. Yeah, so with that, I will call it a stream. Thank you for those who tuned in, and I hope you liked what you seen. We called some good trades out today, and we took a couple trades, and here, look at a firm setting new day's high. Let's just go to our top gainers on the day. Neo sitting up there still. AMD, Nikola, TQ, Square. Is this getting close to our gap fill up here at 79.70? Sure is. So, if we see the TQ get to that resistance same time SQ does, and some other stuff starts getting that resistance. We got SoFi coming up on some resistance. We're just going to be trimming down some positions and then holding for the bag. Yeah, so with that, I'll leave it there, and we will